Hello out there in internet land. You are listening to DFW Local Zero. It is hosted by none other than me, Jarrod, Crescentfresh Gideon. I've got a co-host this time, and I'm not sure if it'll be every time. Just it's up to him, really. It's kind of a hassle to sit with me for more than 5 minutes, and this guy's going to pull that off today. We have Jonathan Cox. He's definitely been on a long journey with me throughout life, listening to music. We've been really good friends for a long time. He doesn't always like what I like. I don't always like what he likes. I figured he would have a good, totally opposite end opinion about a lot of stuff that's going on. So I'd bring him in on it. If you guys don't know who he is, then you're probably doing something right. With that said, I wanted to kick off this today's show by commemorating Keldrick Scott. He pretty much runs Gitmo with a whole bunch of other people kind of backing him up on that. But he works all the time on this, and he really goes to work for these artists. And they put together Gitmo Presents the show at Haley's Bar on Saturday night, and man, that was awesome. It was a really good time to be had. Everybody was in good vibes. I don't think I saw any crazy fist fights afterwards. So I think it was a whole lot of love going on, and that's something to drink to. With that said, I'm going to get on to something real basic here. I picked up a couple of albums that have recently dropped in the local scene. For this podcast, it's pretty much going to be hip hop for this one, but that's not the only thing I'm going to cover on the show on a regular basis. It might be a metal band, it might be jazz, it might be whatever. But we're definitely going to go over the two things we have in front of us today. Actually, let's make it fun. We'll talk about them one at a time. We'll talk about one and then talk, and then mention the other one, because I want to look at them totally separately. I don't want to compare the two just because I bought them at the same time.
You paid money for these?
I actually paid money for these because I probably could have finagled them at free or discounted rates if I wanted to, but I want to support the artists. For example, let's go ahead and talk about this album here. It's called Roaches, and
who sings on this one?
On Roaches, it's a guy called Texas Finest, and another local artist named Jus Raz, who I've had the pleasure of.
Which one's Jus Raz? The black guy or the white guy?
It's the white guy with the beard.
Okay.
The cool, well manicured
beard. That's TX
beard.
Finest.
TX Finest,
All
yeah.
right. So which one is the one that's like really likes Childish Gambino? The one that sounded like Little Dicky, as Courtney said.
I'm not sure. I want to say that's probably Jus Raz. I'd have to see them doing the song in front of me.
Okay.
I want to think that just from hearing him talk, that's him, because that's kind of how he sounds when he's talking.
First off, you don't really bring hip hop for me to listen to, because it's not usually my genre. You usually bring some god awful punk rock band that needs to die in a carbon monoxide poisoning accident in their garage. But I'll have to say that both of these, I don't know if this is typical of local hip hop, DFW area hip hop, but the production on them is it's done well. You can hear what they're saying, the levels are right, so to speak. The backing track sounds as loud as it needs to be, so you can hear the rhymes. And that's not something that you usually get with the punk rock band that you bring me. Because you motherfuckers don't know how to keep your goddamn guitars turned down. Just turn them down. I want to hear what you're saying.
I agree with that.
And I don't know if that's just that in hip-hop production. I mean, when you're making a backtrack, you're essentially in the program that you're going to be doing multi-tracking in. So it's just adding, you have all that down, and then you set the level so you can hear this poetry that you're spitting, so to speak. If that's just something in the hip hop production, and on the other hand, you're getting your guitars and your drum sets and your bass guitars and whatever, and you're in live music performance. Because if it was like a hip hop band with an actual live band to do the backtrack, if they'd have a similar problem that you have with, rock acts. Oh, just saying. Like I could hear it. If this was on, I don't know what's like the mainstream hip hop. Is it 104.5 still?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, regardless, if you heard this on the radio, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, why is this on the radio? It's amateur hour." It's like, is this the time when like people pay $15 and let you play a song?
I've been listening to the Boom a lot. That's what I've been getting down on. That's the new classic hip hop. They have classic rock stations where you got Don't Look Back and all that stuff going on, and Foreigner and all this other stuff. Okay, well now it's like they play Ice Cube and Grandmaster Flash.
Hip hop has officially come of age because you have classic hip hop. In the same vein that classic rock, and it's like that's the real rock, or especially in country's case, that's the real country. So finally, hip hop has old hip hop listeners that are like, this new stuff's crap. The old hip hop, nothing after 1993 is real hip hop. You got those people.
They play some stuff that's not like I guess what you would call the 20-year mark of being classic. Like they'll play like DMX and stuff on there, but like
but even that's
kind of old now.
That's ancient.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it's I would say it's more like 2004 and back is probably about where they're at on that.
You can have kids that are listening to hip hop that were born after music they're playing on that. What was it? Boom. What's the frequency?
I think it's 94.5. The Boom.
Okay. So it's a traditionally a hip hop station.
But what you were saying is that like
they change formats to kind of narrow the
like a radio friendly version of this Jus Raz and Texas Finest Roaches. Radio edit of any of these songs could be played on national radio.
Yeah, like it would feel right along. Like if I was scanning through the dial and be like, what's this? Nope. Christian, nope. What's this? Alternative music, which is music 25 years ago. What's this? Oh, hip hop. Nah, I don't like that. And, it could fit right there on a song that I skip right past when listening to broadcast radio.
Yeah, definitely.
That's not that unless they're not going for that, I would say any musical act that sounds like a song I could hear on the radio, on the right genre station, is a compliment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can compete on that level, then you're definitely doing a service to yourself. And also the thing that I noticed about this, just listening to it, and I do run sound at a club weekly, and you guys probably already know this if you're listening, because nobody that's not my friend is going to listen to this.
Most of your friends aren't going to listen to
most
this.
of them, they're going to say they did. They're going to like, it was really funny. And it wasn't. And you didn't listen to it because I told no jokes.
Just tell them, did you hear that shout out I did for you?
Yeah, did you hear
that
shout out? And they're like,
man, thanks. I was like, I didn't give you any shout out, you son of a bitch.
I want you to just plug your ears and scream your name really loud. I just said your name while you did that. All right, that's the shout out. But yeah, this album, Roaches too, like working weekly shows for the DJs that come into Andy's bar. I could hear this being played there too. Like I think this would be really good club music, by far. I don't know if you agree. You don't really.
Yeah. I'm not one to go to a live venue unless you've really been pestering me to support the Faps. But like how hip hop to me, it's like three categories. There's like this is like in the chill out at your house in a beanbag or in like a comfy couch played Madden. Or just like some brain dead game that you can just play over and over again that has no purpose. Whether it's, digging tunnels in Minecraft or Madden or Call of Duty. Just like a pointless game that you can play forever. Yeah. And just kind of chill out and partake in illicit mind-altering substances, hence, aptly titled. And just kind of like, it's like chill out hip-hop. And then there's the hip-hop that's like impactful that you listen to while you're like driving angry because someone just didn't tip you on a delivery when you're delivering pizza.
Yeah, I do that.
And then you have the other kind of hip hop that's the gonna blow your mind. You go to a show and gets everybody up. Like this music isn't gonna get you up. It's gonna like chill you out. So I'd say this is like chill out hip hop almost. Like there's chill out
slightly
music.
dancey though at times. You know what I mean? It's like dancey, like you could see people getting down at the club.
Well, yeah, like chill out. Chill out in chill out in the club too. Like you played this track to calm down, get everyone together. Find get muster up the courage to that fella or lady that you've been eyeing all night.
Yeah.
And get a little slow grind going with them.
Yeah, right on. So just to recap this album, it's pretty good. I think it's like, let's see if I can count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tracks, which is awesome. A lot of people try to be like, oh, I got a 6-track out. And that's not an album. That's an EP. On the cover, it's got Jus Raz and Texas Finest. Looks like they got they look like cockroach cartoon bodies with their heads superimposed on it of black and white photographs. And a ashtray that says roaches on it. Looks like an outline of a roach, like it got murdered. And then it's pretty creative. And I want to give them props on the artwork, big time. And they're sharing a roach. They're passing that shite. And there's a dead cockroach on the back and some cool looking caution tape looking design going on. And then on the inside, what really impressed me is you take the actual CD and you place it into the sleeve, and it takes the picture of what was a roach,
like the
roach, the insect cockroach, and it replaces half of its body, which is printed on the CD, with a actual roach, like one you would smoke if you were down to party like that. So it's a lot of creativity and thought went into this, and I just want to give them a good thumbs up for that. And since I got 2 hands, I'll give them 2 thumbs up on this
2 thumbs up
collaboration, which I've actually heard Jus Raz talking about
for
like months and months. And you get excited about something and you work hard on it, you deserve a little bit of applause. Next up, unless you have something else you want to say about roaches.
Yeah, earlier, say you were wanting to check out some local hip hop, and my opinion for punk bands is just find a rock act that's popular now and kind of mimic them, and then turn their sound into your own, because you're gonna get the people in the club because you sound like blank, but then they're gonna appreciate you after it. And with this, not every track, but certainly a few voiced by whoever. I was wondering if you knew. If you like the Childish Gambino, which is a hot rap act now, it has a similar sound, like in the voice. Not like it sounds like this song from Childish Gambino. It's just, this could be a Childish Gambino song. And I would, if I was him, I would take that as a compliment, because that's a breakout hip hop artist right now. So if you like that sound, go with it. If you hate that, give it a try too, because every track doesn't sound like that. So I'd say a thumbs in the middle, just because I don't want to commit. I don't know these guys.
I don't know these guys. Okay, so on to the next one, which, by the way, I guess if you wanted to find out more about that, you could probably find those guys on Facebook or something. Was it Jus Raz?
They literally have 8
social
social media links on there.
I'm gonna read them. I just don't know which one to read because they put so many. Look up Jus Raz is pretty responsive. If you were to talk to that guy and you want to get a CD from him, find out where he's playing next, you can hit him up on Facebook.com/Jus Raz. That's JUSRAZ. Or you can hit him up on SoundCloud at the same / SoundCloud.com/Jus Raz. And on to the next one here. We got a collaboration album, which has been talked about a lot. People were really looking forward to this one.
Has there been hype concerning this album?
There's been hype concerning this album.
Hype from who? The 3 people on this album?
Yeah, definitely those guys. And
well, I mean, as long as you get them. If the people who are on the album aren't hyping it up, that's a bad sign.
And the Observer said some good things about it.
Oh, the Observer.
Yeah, and this album, highly anticipated, is a collaboration of 3 artists. 2 of them of which I'm close personal friends with, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased when I say it sucks. It's got Blaze One, who's a Denton native, but he lives out in Dallas now, so he's really known for being a Dallas artist. But he definitely hangs around Denton a lot, and that's where he went to school. And Wild Bill, not a Denton native, but definitely a Denton resident now, and a local guy.
A notable Denton
resident. Notable Denton resident. And if you haven't heard of him, you probably don't go out. And then and then we got Rob Viktum. He spells it Viktum. Viktum. Rob Viktum. I haven't got a chance to really talk to that guy very much. So I'm very
maybe on the episode 2 of this podcast you'll be able to remedy that.
Maybe we could bring in Rob Viktum and just talk to him about it and just see what went into this. This is Baconomics. I'm sure you've heard that get thrown around a lot. Baconomics. It's a release on Gitmo Music.
Full disclosure, your band is also on Gitmo Music.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Jarrod, Crescentfresh, Gideon, that's me. I'm in a band called The Faps. We're on Gitmo Music. We're all right. Anyway.
And this isn't just a gimmick. Baconomics is almost a perfect name for this album because literally every track is pork themed.
Yeah. Oh.
At least title wise.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if it's not pork themed, it definitely leads you down a road to pork.
They have cornered the market on pork hip hop.
Yeah, if you are sitting at your home in front of your what's the program everybody uses?
Pandora or Spotify or
no. When you're gonna make music, I'm having a brain fart right now. I just need your help.
Like Ableton or
yeah,
Reason,
like if you're sitting in front of your Ableton or your Reason or whatever, or your Fruity Loops, whatever it is you fuck with, and you're thinking, I'm gonna write a pork themed rap album.
Yeah.
It's been done. You can back off of that and move on to
everyone who listens to that will say, well, this is clearly a derivative of Baconomics.
Yeah, this is clearly a Baconomics ripoff, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, anyway, so there's a public service announcement on there that's pretty cool, and it's basically like some kind of old throwback to sounds like the 50s or something.
Yeah, it seems like a World War II PSA where you want to save your bacon fats because it can be turned into essentially explosives, nitroglycerin.
Yeah. Do your part, that kind of thing. So let's get to these song lists right here just to see how pork enthusiast this album is. Pigmata. That's
like
pretty
stigmata.
Good. Yeah, stigmata.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I want to see a pig that's having stigmata.
Have you ever seen me sleep? All right, so bacon, not baking, but bacon soda, featuring 730. Took me a second there.
730.
730. That's it's written weird. It's like the number 7 EVENTHIRTY. It's like he's gonna play Counter-Strike later, and then
Leet Speak. It's the first. It's featuring Leet Speak.
Featuring Leet Speak. And then a healthy choice, which at first you're thinking a healthy choice for what? But that's like typically a brand that's in stores that sells meats.
I was thinking more it's like when advertising pork, they went with the other white meat back in the day. Yeah. So it was a more healthy alternative to red meat or beef. So that's probably lifted from that ad campaign for pork back in the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we're on a bacon roll here.
Yeah.
And the next song is Swine and Dine. That's easy. And then Turkey Bacon.
It's Swine and Dine because when you go dining, you get pork.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the swine part.
And the swine is written with a $sign.
Yeah.
Hence the Baconomics. And then
yeah, that's where the Baconomics part comes in, a $sign.
Here's where these fine gentlemen fuck up hardcore. Turkey bacon. It's not actually bacon. It's not pig. It's not a pig themed thing.
Hey, turkey bacon is very popular.
It is.
Some people prefer turkey bacon over pork bacon.
But that's a bird. It's not even close.
It's still bacon, though.
It's not.
It's Baconomics, not porknomics.
Okay. Well, all right. Thanks for saving them from total embarrassment. Yeah. Shrinkage.
I guess sausage. I don't know. I didn't need to save them because they kind of lose me on it.
No.
Maybe someone in the pork industry has something about shrinkage being pork specific.
Maybe in conjunction with having Rob Viktum on the show, we'll get a representative from the pork industry to explain why shrinkage would have an association.
Maybe that's part of the economics portion of the album.
Shrinkage, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And if you don't know what shrinkage is, that's stuff that's like either stolen or damaged or lost at a store. And we got pork chops. Yeah, that makes sense. Swine flu. And that's featuring Apathy and Centrific of Cutthroat ENT.
Yeah, that's the big team up. That's like the Avengers Part 2 of this album.
Yeah.
They brought everyone in to battle, I guess,
I'm pretty sure
pirate pigs.
I'm pretty sure the mic got real sweaty during that song.
Ooh.
Real sweaty. And then
and greasy too, because all that bacon.
All that bacon. Yeah, I think they were like making all kinds of bacon snacks at the CD release party, which, you know, I didn't go. And then I was like, man, I wish I would have went because I missed out on all this bacon. Unkosher featuring Richie Flo. Now, I recently did a video interview with Richie Flo that was pretty funny. He seemed a little embarrassed of it because he didn't think he was funny, but I really think he saved the video. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like someone who'd be very self-conscious.
Yeah, maybe he was trolling me into thinking that he's self-conscious.
Oh, man.
Some next level shit.
He was actually still playing. He was still doing the bit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He's smooth like that. I was
certainly you need to get him on the podcast.
I was talking to Blaze one time about Richie Flo and how funny he is, and then Blaze One says, I kind of feel inadequate around him. Oh, that's good times. All right, we got Razorbacks. And the next song is Hook 'em Horns. I'm just kidding. That's not the next song. Pork Belly Philosophy. That works. El Pastor. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For all you German speakers out there.
Oh, jeez.
All right. And then all the tracks are produced by Rob Viktum. So
he was producing his ass off with all these featuring.
Yeah, he was producing his ass off.
This one complaint I have about local music is that it doesn't like you can't just put it in and be like, oh, that's DFW, or even like that's Dallas, or that's Fort Worth, or that's Denton sounds. Like, that isn't North Texas sounds. Whereas in the past, there's been like East Coast, West Coast, Atlanta, Dirty South sounds. Mm-hmm. So they're like, you know, granted, there's so many musical acts, and it just takes one becoming popular and everyone copying that sound for that sound to become synonymous with the region. But Baconomics, that is a hip hop album made in the shadow of UNT, because it has like that jazz fusion, that what do they call it, like the it's like the jazz band on UNT.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like the 5 o'clock jazz band.
Yeah,
it's like it has someone who dropped out of jazz helping with this album, or at least just they talk to it, because the backtrackings for that first album are standard hip hop fare, but Baconomics, it's like, I'm like, what is this, Pink Floyd? Like the first song I was like, is this Pink Floyd? No, it's like smooth jazz. No, it's alien music.
Yeah, they definitely bring a different flavor, and one thing
is it
about
bacon flavored?
Yeah, it is. They bring a delicious salty bacon flavor that goes good on anything apparently, including your CD player. Why is there just bacon on my CD player? You made a comment about Dallas and Denton not really having its own sound. And it's hard to do that now with certain genres, especially because, like we talked about, how hip hop is kind of out of its infancy now, and it's a little bit more grown up. And I don't mean in its maturity or the music. I just mean in its time frame. You know, hip hop is approaching 40 years old, and when you get around that time, it's kind of to the point where you don't really have regional boundaries. Just like with other music, you had a lot of bands that would be from the South that had a lot more country roots inside of their rock music, whereas groups from up north would have a little bit more of the crooner style shit going on, and I don't know, just a bunch of mix of traditional piano styles and stuff in their music. You know, people from Canada. People from
So
Canada.
the next track,
like,
Canadian Bacon.
have their own kind of sound to them. People from the West Coast had their own kind of sound, and the same thing happened with hip hop. There was people at the West Coast that had this sound, and East Coast had this sound, and you had the Dirty South that kind of came soon after. And I think that all of those things have kind of passed that maturity to the point where, as a fan who becomes an artist, you could take so many of those things and kind of melt them in together into one piece of beautiful bacon flavored chocolate.
Yeah, and then in the same, there's not a scene, so to speak. Like there's a small group of professional musicians making a living in this region for hip hop. At least that we're getting to sample their albums. There might be, I don't know, but these guys certainly aren't it. Like is anyone here a professional rapper? Meaning that's their only job.
No.
Yeah. So these are all part-time gigs.
I don't try to get involved in their business.
In their business.
But
well,
as far as
they
I know,
they might have day jobs that are completely appropriate for hip hop artists. You know, pimping, slanging crack rock,
slanging rock up and down the block,
working at Verizon. But
slanging them iPhones.
Yeah, so it's not like these clubs that you can go, you can tour in the, I guess, Southwest. I don't know what that is a problem with Texas because is it Southern? Is it Southwest? Is it Midwest? And like just the state itself is divided into so many regions. So if you wanted to have like a microcosm of hip hop, there probably exists just in DFW. Like there's bands that are in Dallas that do Dallas clubs, and they don't sound like the groups or artists in Denton that do Denton clubs, and Fort Worth and wherever, Arlington. Got to get that A-town sound.
I think it's no matter where you go, I'm sure it's probably the same. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But one thing I've noticed in Denton is that everyone who performs in Denton, for the most part, I would say probably 2 out of 3 artists that perform hip hop in Denton, they try to mold their own identity. They feel insulted if they're too much like something that's already been done. They want to be them. You know what I mean? And that's where the power lies. If you can take something that inspires you and mold it into something that's you, that fits you, the shoes fit you. It's about you. You know, if you're silly or if you're unhappy or if you're very happy or if you're stoned all the time or whatever reflects you, you kind of, all those things have been done. But it seems like these people in Denton, Wild Bill in particular and Blaze One and stuff like that, they kind of mold their own identity. And I see that a lot. Where people strive to do that, they won't rest on their laurels to just be like, oh well, they kind of sounds like Jay-Z, so I'm sure people will like it. They're like, no, I want to be me, and that's the vibe I get.
So how big is the hype behind Baconomics?
I mean, I'm not going to try to make
I'm
it out.
I'm not talking about like the hype at Andy's bar. I'm talking about legitimate hype.
All 3 bartenders said it was cool. No, they recently did a show where Waka Flocka was in town playing at Rock and Rodeo in Denton. I heard that was pretty ruckus, a pretty wild show. And I guess the Dallas Observer was there, and they saw Baconomics perform as a group, and they really liked it, and the album's getting some hype. I know, and the local scene itself, it's been highly anticipated because guys like Blaze One and Wild Bill are very popular people. And whenever you take 2 artists who are already well known and established and you have them put their heads together to come up with something, people are going to get excited about it. So there's already been a lot of hype about this album. And after it has been recorded and pressed and released, the hype is matching up with the actual product as far as what I hear from everyone. And I like it too, personally. I do. And I'm quick to judge things and go, yeah, it could be better, you know. But this definitely has what I expect from those artists at their best.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Like it's unique. The backing tracks are unique. It is literally a lot of songs about bacon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't fall short. And they're like, well, we got 3 songs about bacon.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I don't want to reduce it to literally songs about bacon, because, you know, you can use bacon in many forms. You know, like there's, how many tracks are on this? Like over 10.
Oh, well, this one right here, it's got, and not including the public service. Yeah. $12 tracks as well.
Yeah, so
that seems to be a good number.
It's certainly, if you don't like your standard fare of hip hop, you might want to check it out, because it could be the antidote for boring generic hip hop that sounds like somebody made it on their cell phone. It doesn't sound like cell phone ringtones.
You know, if you're not really into hip hop too, but you are into jazz, lyrically it's very jazz centric.
Yeah.
Like what jazz music does to your mind when you listen to it, as far as being unpredictable, the lyrics are the same way. Like you'll find yourself maybe not listening to the next set of lyrics because you're trying to analyze the last set of lyrics and think about what was just said. Yeah. Or they might just be name dropping a wrestler or something. Who knows?
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Like this Baconomics is the missing link between jazz and poetry and hip hop.
Ooh.
This one album.
It's been said here on
this
DFW
one album
Local Zero.
has combined those 3 art forms, and it's going to be probably the most influential hip hop album until DJ Rose Toledo comes out.
All right. Well, with that said, if you haven't already fallen asleep or clicked on a thumbnail with large boobs featuring funny videos, 1 hour.
Watch cats fall off big boobs.
Yeah, watch cats fall off huge boobs. To be like 100 best fails of February, and it's a girl with huge boobs in the thumbnail. Like, I'm clicking on that, and you never see that part. You know what I mean? But you jack off anyway.
Yeah.
So if you've done that, I'm sorry you missed out on it. I think I had a pretty fun little podcast here with my buddy Jonathan.
Where can someone pick up this music?
I know for sure you can pick up a copy at Recycle Books and Records over in
people
in
know
Denton.
where that is.
Yeah, people know. It's on the square. It's right there. If you find the courthouse, you look up at it and go, oh, that's neat. And you kind of just do a 360. You'll see the big the Denton Recycle Books. And, yeah, you can pick it up there. Or, you know, you can check out Gitmo Music on Facebook. And we keep a pretty good tab on what's coming up as far as shows go. You know, I know for a fact that Wild Bill and Blaze One will answer your messages if you try to contact them on Facebook as well. If you have any inquiries about how to buy their music or when they're playing next, I'm pretty sure they'll answer you right back, because, you know, a new fan is always a good thing for them. So definitely hit them up. If you have any questions, you can go to my page, DFW Local Zero on Facebook, and hit me up. I can always keep you posted as well on what's coming up. Thank you for listening today. And Jonathan, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
DFW Local Zero signing out. Brought to you by Gitmo Music.